The Earnestly Speaking podcast is a show that is founded on free-flowing conversation and may at times venture into mature subjects. Listener discretion is advised.
Yeah, Earnestly Speaking podcast. Let's get it. I'm a giant in New York, in Miami carry heat. So much more in store, my product can flood the street. Opinion Nation Godfather, CEO. Puff in the late 90s, gon' see me blow. Oh. Got my hustle on, no imitation of bad. Army of untouchables, Opinion Nation staff. Never an off season, homie, check the numbers. Heartthrob in my own right, supplying southern comfort. Earnestly speaking, my ego is well fed. Earnestly speaking, you're too evil and no threat. See, I'm like a hurricane, you're a mild breeze. Earnestly speaking, leaving Eli a dynasty. Shake!
Earnestly Speaking podcast. Foul for content. Or should I say hashtag foul for content here, this month's edition of our show here. Of course, joined here by these two jabronis. We got, of course, James Big Jim Nies.
Who, me?
Hey, you, me. And the student game, of course, Kyle Nash.
You know, EJ'Christian, I have to tell you, even though the Op Nation is a thing of the past, may it be rest in absolute joy. The Untouchables mentioned there by our good friend GW Gross, GWSTWLIO in the theme. I just realized, like, being called a group of Untouchables, I already know then who I am in your group. I'm Malone. I'm Sean Connery, the old guy that bitches at you when you screw up all the time to make sure that you still catch Capone, which probably means
You're a goddamn genius.
I'm going to die fucking trying to get you right. And I could see it, like, the burn is stone, and I could see, granted, not that he's Stone. I'm sorry. He's the treasury guy, with all the stats and stuff.
Yeah.
I can make an argument that Jim is Stone, though I don't think he's young enough for that role. Andy Garcia portrays you. You look much more handsome, Jim. It's fine. But anyways, if you haven't seen that movie, get a hold of your fucking life, and it might be officially be the blackest you see Kevin Costner as he is portraying EJ'Christian. That last part's a joke, obviously, but yeah, no. Academy Award notice on a number of topics, among which supporting actor, I believe it was, for Robert De Niro's portrayal of Al Capone. So I think, excuse me, I had that wrong. The winner actually was Sean Connery for his role as Malone. I don't remember if De Niro got love for that or not, but yeah, great movie. I think it's like late 80s, early 90s. Check that shit out.
And also, we got a faceless fourth member of the Foul for Content crew, the soundboard.
You're goddamn right I did.
I would love to do this, close to monthly if possible. I enjoy these open, like, conversational topics we do on this show. I'm going to continue doing it there. And as we officially approach the middle,
we pretty much have one month until schedules get a lot more full.
Oh, I'm telling you,
for a little bit.
I gotta be honest with you. I'm definitely looking forward to Huddle Up Podcast. We start doing the live shows in late August through the fall into the winter.
Hold on. It's preseason for everybody. He's looking forward to the Huddle Up Podcast. Bing.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
No, but I'm not gonna lie. These Tuesdays sometimes like being able to do what I want is kind of cool also too. So I'm torn. Like I'm looking forward to it.
Occasional appearance at the karaoke bar on Tuesday when I can do that is a fun thing. But listen, I've still been doing plenty of stuff. I don't know if you've noticed, but as a student of the game, been dropping some shorts here, there, and everywhere. Bing! Then not to mention, I mean, hey, listen, what I've learned in the past month about graphic design and YouTube channel bullshit and now TikTok for the Duval Dive, a Jaguars podcast. Bing! Subscribe to that shit, bitches.
You're doing TikTok now?
Yeah, the Duval Dive is actually on TikTok.
Wow,
yes.
I'm proud of you, kid.
You literally sent the link to us in the Huddle Up chat. But
I know. Well, I just
you were too busy to pay attention.
This is for the list, Jim. This is for the listeners. They may not know this.
Oh, okay.
You acted surprised.
Yeah,
I'm on host.
And by the way,
why?
despite the fact that he's the host, he's also missed the fact that I've been paying attention, and he has not followed the Duval Died TikTok yet. So he needs to get a hold of his life and do.
I actually have a
We're
excuse.
following you, bitch. I know that.
No, I got
We're
new.
following you.
I got a new phone about 3 weeks ago,
Oh,
and I'm having a hard time logging into my TikTok account.
What are you, 60?
We notice I have not. I guess apparently the information I'm putting is wrong. Apparently the past information is wrong.
Usually on like on those sign-in deals, there's a little link that says forgot password.
Tried it, and apparently it's to my other TikTok account I used to have when I tried this like years ago. Oh my God.
Apparently they stole all your data, and you need to fly to Taiwan.
It's rigged. The TikToks are rigged, man. I mean, I don't know why you have it though. We're not gonna have TikTok by December. Allegedly.
Do it while you can.
Because TikTok will be gone apparently by December. Allegedly. Anyway, so we got a lot of good topics here we want to talk about here. We piled up in the last. I think late May, late May. We did the last pop content, I believe.
I'll give you credit. You're being more consistent than you have with a lot of things. Now you can dunk really hard on Muehlheisen for not doing the pitch. Where's our last 5 for fighting? I mean, where are you at, Bern? Come on now. Well, you're even going to be on the Student of the Game podcast coming up here. Bing! To talk a little bit of hockey.
Everybody's busy. Everybody's paced themselves because you know how it is here.
I mean,
and Jim
here and do some NBA talk, EJ. So
yeah, that's tomorrow night. That's tomorrow night on your show. Can't wait for that.
Right, look for that podcast, bitch.
But I think we'll all kind of pace ourselves
I'm
because
still sitting here like Judge Judy, waiting for my invitation to talk hockey on the Student of the Game podcast thing.
Wait a sec. Whoa. Let's address that real quick.
He did that. He did last season. Actually, he was on talking.
He did.
The problem this season, man, listen, they're lining up, and I got to give a little bit of love to my fellow members who are also with me on the Black and Gold Banneret. Bing! Jake Ferraro and Nick Purcelli. You are an established hockey force who at one point was even proud to say they were anti-American as the Hershey Bears were playing them. So
allegedly.
No, Jim, honestly, real talk, like a lot of it has just been I have the very unique and awesome problem of knowing people that cover teams that were in the playoffs, buddy. That's the reason why you haven't gotten yet.
Wow. Shots fired.
The Cowboys made the playoffs this year? Oh, they did. Who did they lose to? Oh, yeah.
Oh, not like you'd know.
Shit. My team beat you. I mean, whatever.
Whose team? What, the Rangers?
You're damn right.
Oh, sorry, I said it wrong. The Panthers?
There we go.
It would have been funny if I landed it right. Sorry. Because
that's all right. He changes them so often. He changes teams more than he changes underwear.
Listen, sir, I've already.
Hold on, real quick. You'll appreciate
go ahead.
CJ. It would be better if I landed the joke with the Panthers because then I could have continued on and congratulate you for finally getting your own Dan Le Batard style show that features real credible sports talk because I'm on it. So there you go.
There you go.
I have to say though, and I think this year is the year that it finally happened. I think my hockey fandom is back to where it was, say, 20-something years ago.
Allegedly.
I'm at a point now where I may end up getting the was it what is the version of the League Pass that you do?
Center Ice.
Center Ice.
Yes, me.
Don't be surprised if I buy a subscription for that next year.
See now who's rubbing shit in now? I can't buy shit like that right now.
You problem. Sorry.
Ow! Damn!
Ooh, I'm sorry. Want to hug?
I mean, didn't your Panthers just come out and say that they're covered locally on TV down there? So what do you have to buy the center ice for?
That doesn't correct the Rangers, buddy.
Panthers fan.
Rangers too. Rangers first.
Well, no disrespect. Well, I mean, maybe a little disrespect to Bally because of some of the people. Now, I shouldn't say that too loud because Dante Marcatelli, guys. Dante Marcatelli, I don't care what team you're talking about, but he's the play-by-play for the Magic. One of the best fucking people to do the job.
Really?
He's great. So, like, if you ever listen to Magic broadcasts, Dante Marcatelli is amazing.
Which, by the way, Bally Sports, that's a mess, and that affects the Heat as well too. And we got to figure out what's going on with that.
Correct.
So that's a whole other situation we got to worry about next season, man. But we'll see how that goes. All right. So the first topic, and you guys see the title of the show, today's episode, We're going to address what we believe was a debate last week, last Thursday.
It was billed
between Joe Biden and Donald Trump.
And AEW was billed as a WWE alternate as well. So,
and
there, Jim.
I have to say, what's most concerning about this post-debate, is that for the first time, probably in 9 years since Donald Trump has entered our political sphere, he comes out as a person no one's talking about, really. Joe Biden is the one that's his debate performance, rather, has been the front and center, the biggest topic of anything involved with Donald Trump.
That's a hell of a spin by you, EJ. I wasn't ready for that. Keep going.
More people right now are talking about Joe Biden, whether or not he should be in this race still, than Donald Trump. That is a fact. That's a fact.
Which, again, something I'm not used to saying in this space. But yeah, I don't feel like you're wrong there.
So anyway, but we are at a place now where, listen, the conventions come up next month. Both conventions come up next month. You have an election in November. The polls have Trump slightly ahead. Battleground states, he's ahead right now, currently, most of the battleground states. And it's obviously, the conversation right now post-debate is very strenuous. And Jim and I are having conversations on text and on X/Twitter about this.
In public. Put it in
both ways. We're doing it both ways.
No, listen, I don't want to hear about your social life with you and Tom Brady.
Double dipping, baby.
With both ways. That's not what we mean.
Hey,
we mean both private and public. Let's make sure we discriminate that. Okay. Jim, sit down.
Okay. We are
motherfucker.
We are a diverse show here, Kyle.
Correct. I'm not saying it's improper for you to have that lifestyle. I just don't want people to get to the wrong idea.
And I have to say, this has dominated the conversation in pretty much all my texts with all my friends for the last 5 days. Should Joe Biden be in this race? Should the Democrats pull him? Whatever. Let's start with Kyle first.
Mm-hmm.
I know Jim's about to get off his chest.
Well,
Kyle, did you watch the debate?
No, I didn't, and I'm glad to say that, because if it went as badly as I'm hearing, listen, I have enough going wrong in my life already. Okay, listen. No, but here's the thing, and I think this is the 2 points actually. One, Jim, I'm sure you're busy at the moment, but if I may so kindly get a Lucifer Morningstar, it's gonna, again, preseason for everybody.
I gotta find
of all the ones you'd forget. I'm a little confused.
Shake the rust off.
It's on the T-shirt on TeePublic.
Tell you, but you wouldn't listen.
Where you get our merchandise. Yeah. And the reason why I'm pulling Lucifer Morningstar is I told y'all bitches, what, 2-3 years ago, that Trump was going to come back and win? Now, granted, I did feel like it might be stymied when he was considered a felon, but looking at the Supreme Court, okay, maybe not. And I'm sure we'll be talking plenty about the SCOTUS later in this conversation. But
yeah, come on.
Listen, the one true takeaway I have, the one thing that's bullshit, and as the guy on here who's the most credentialed member of the media, I will take the liberty to take the helm here and say this. The media members that are out here acting surprised that Joe blinked on stage like that, for lack of a better way to put it, and I think that's the friendliest way I can put it, you're just completely disingenuous. The dude has found moments where he's been clouded responding to press conferences, a place where the media is regularly fucking present, in similar fashion to the debate. If you want to do, and credit to you, Jim, I haven't seen this anywhere else, but it's an interesting way to look at it. I've seen nobody else look at it this way. If you were to spin it as he had a bad night for his blinks in particular that night, I can see that. That's probably the most credible defense. But you acting surprised that this dude blanked the way he did during that debate, no, that's disingenuous, and I don't accept it. At this point, you are full-on fanboying and defending and apologizing for Joe Biden, which, granted, considering what Trump is, and as somebody who just does not want to vote for Trump at all because he is not presidential in any way, shape, form, or fashion, that's the biggest problem I think I see coming out of it. Now how I stack and who I'm going to vote for, God, listen, I mean, can we have this question once the national conventions are done? Because I mean, I know that's going to be another topic. We're going to talk more about whether Joe should run or not. I see the title of the episode here. But the question is, you pose it, EJ. That's my answer.
Jim, you watched the debate? Or you watched clips of it, right? You didn't watch the whole thing, right?
Yeah, I've seen clips of it. I didn't watch the debate. I was podcasting 3CT Bing.
Yeah.
There you go. Good man.
Good
And Take 3 Wrestling Bing. But I didn't watch the debate. I don't need to watch the debate because I know what I'm doing in November. If you've known me for any time since 2015, you've known the answer to what I would do if the Republican clown show continued the way that it has for the last almost decade.
Whatever do you mean, woke Jim?
So like I don't support our troops, okay?
Okay, stop right there. How the fuck do you come in here as woke Jim and then have an Imperial t-shirt on? It doesn't make any fucking sense.
But like so yeah, like I don't need to watch any debates. I don't need to watch anything. I know what I'm doing. If you, like I said, if you know me at all, you know what I'm doing. It's not the great mystery that some people probably want to some people like to portray it as. I know what I'm doing come November. So I didn't need to watch the debate. It was a bad night. Here's the thing. Yeah, was it a bad night for Joe? Absolutely. It was a bad night for goddamn everybody with a reasonable and a rational fucking brain.
It was a bad night for America.
Like
correct.
Seriously.
Correct.
Like you have one. First off, you have two guys that are both older than the average age in this country, which is a problem in and of itself. You have two guys that are never going to even see the consequences of whoever does win in November and any of the policies that are put forward. So that feels like a problem. Like I understand we have a minimum age to be president, but maybe we should start thinking about like, maybe there should be a maximum age, but it's another problem that is well near the bottom of the list of problems that are facing us in the potential near future. But seriously, you have one guy who 81 and is exhausted from being the president and traveling around the world numerous times being the president, plus doing ground stuff that day, plus allegedly having some sort of a cold. It's shocking. An 81-year-old man is tired after 6 p.m. Cool. And then you have another guy who is a greasy orange train wreck up there lying for an hour and a half and not getting fact checked once by two people in what many people call me is the quote liberal media. And Jake Tapper has spent more time deleting tweets over the last 2 days than I have eating dinner. So, it's a fucking clown show I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed for all of us with a functioning brain.
Let me stop you real quick there, Jim, because I know people balk at the both sides response. But as much as people balk at that, the facts of the case is, in this particular instance, what you say is true. This is a both sides problem. And I'm not saying anything new. People make fun of me for thinking calling Cowherd is smart. But he said this, and it reflects a lot of people. Is this really the best we can fucking do? I mean, honestly, at this point, I genuinely feel like I could run better as president. Now, the only reason why I wouldn't is because I wouldn't want all the, public bullshit to land on my family, because trolls are real and those problems exist. Hell, it's the whole reason I didn't get into local politics. Little known fact, I'd actually considered running for an office at one point.
Yeah, I did at one point as well. Those days have long since waved bye-bye.
Well, I can say the Republicans definitely want Trump to be the front runner for their party.
They have to.
No, but they don't have to do anything. They voted for that.
No, they have to.
Jim nailed it. That's the thing. Other than fucking Trump, the Repubs have the same fucking problem, buddy.
They have sold their soul to that man. As long as he is upright, kind of leaning forward, because he also has problems. They have no choice than to bow and kiss the ring. Look at every single person who tried to run against him and ones even that said, I will never endorse that man. And what do they do?
Endorse that man.
Not even weeks after they bow out of the election, out of the primary process, they bow and kiss the ring. They have to, because if they don't, they're going to get swallowed alive and destroyed in that party.
Well, okay, here's the thing, though. If it was a situation, let's say even Joe Lieberman was a thing at this point, a guy who's a notorious turncoat and all this other bullshit.
Yeah,
right?
correct. I remember
Let's say it's a guy like that that's on the other side. Right now, the Repubs have been handed the perfect defense, right? They got the goddamn OJ glove right now. Well, it's better Trump than a guy that blanks out in a big moment. And Jim, I know you hate it, and I think it's a lame thing too, but the facts of the case is that's where we're stuck. Because the truth is there is no substance to anybody else that they're putting out there. Everybody fucking hates Ted Cruz, for example, right? And then, I listen, I am not the political expert you two guys are, but here's the thing. I'm the one, forget you two. Like EJ constantly says, oh, I'm not registered. Fuck you, okay? You've picked a side.
I'm an MPA. I'm an MPA.
Shut the fuck up.
MPA. Deal with it. Shit.
You can, yeah, and you claim you're a Giants fan too. We all fucking know that. Anyways, Woke Jim.
Good timing, Jim. It was good timing.
That speaks for itself. That's what he does. Producer extraordinaire. Even
awesome.
on your goddamn show, allegedly.
Soundboard.
But Jim's Woke Jim. They're trying to sell me, and the only other guys I've heard of, you've dunked on already so hard in the previous election. Looking at you, Jeb Bush. They're not coming back, right? Giuliani's damn close to getting disbarred. He's fucking gone.
He is disbarred.
I think he
is
in
New York today. In New York today.
Oh, so that's official today.
It's official. Okay. It's official. Yeah.
Gotcha. So yeah, they're trying. I'm the guy they're looking for, and I still don't know who they have beyond Trump. A, B, the Dems have the same problem. The only other guy who I know, or I shouldn't even say guy because then I'll get attacked by them libs. Tulsi is the only other Democrat type,
and she's gone.
And she's gone, but she's still talking on Bill Maher, and she's still in the theater.
And she was terrible on Bill Maher on Friday.
Separate conversation, EJ'Christian.
Of course, yes.
This the chick I wanted, Elizabeth Warren. I ain't heard from her lately. For all I know,
she's done.
For all I know, she could be on some Indian reservation. What the fuck? That's the thing. Everybody else is gone or viewed as wildly incompetent, and unfortunately, that includes Kamala.
Yeah, or they're not there yet. I mean, I know there's a list of younger candidates, and I mean, hell, Josh Shapiro in Pennsylvania, the governor, he's in his 50s, and the man looks like he's in his 30s compared to what we have on the national platform. But he is
Andy Beshear in Kentucky.
Yeah, I mean, he's years away from being viable.
But the fact the guy's name is Shapiro is already fucking problematic.
Right.
I mean, for those who don't know about Ben Shapiro, listen, and see, for me, it's different. Like, I appreciate Ben Shapiro as a performer rather than an actual political pundit. He's a fucking great debater. That is not.
Oh, that's not even
arguable. And there are points he makes that are statistically accurate. But man, you don't want him dictating policy. Unfortunately, I don't think he wants to do that, which is kind of proof in the pudding that he's a performer first. Please see also Clay Travis, right? So
he's not good at it, though. He's a grifter.
Yeah.
That's a big difference. No, not well.
Ben
Shapiro believes what he says.
He's good at it in the sense he can convince a bunch of less than intelligent people to
Ben Shapiro actually believes what he says. He's actually a principled conservative.
Okay.
Clay Travis is a fucking grifter.
Okay,
that's difference.
That's fair. And I think the difference with Ben Shapiro is that he's got so much of his spiritual aspect dictating policy, and
that's part of it too. Yeah,
I'm not claiming that that's a bad thing to have that, but there's a fine line between making it required to put the 10 Commandments on your school walls. That's fine, I guess. I wouldn't vote for it, but it's another to dictate that the Bible should be a teaching material. I'm just saying.
So, I guess the topic here, more than anything else, is with everything we're seeing now, and this is pertaining to Democrats right now and where we're at in this the race and everything else, should they consider getting Joe out the paint? Is it time for Joe to move aside?
Jim, I think I know your point, and you're going to bake it better than I can. So let me jump in.
Yeah,
and
do the first.
And I'm going to open with this conversation, as I often do in shows like these, with the humongous dunk on EJ. I'm going to ask you the question you weren't brave enough to ask on Twitter. I and someone of note, I forget who it was, but it was somebody on the Stephen A. Smith show. So,
yeah, she was a guest last night. She's a Democratic. What's the word I'm looking for? She's actually a delegate, actually.
Okay.
An actual delegate.
So
she has influence.
Platforms you like you platform a bunch of dumbasses on your Twitter feed and asks you a question. And instead of taking that opportunity to give an intelligent response, you run with your adult complex and go, well, if you just want to do so-and-so, rather than answering the fucking question. So I will ask it to you here. I would love to see Joe not be the best choice for a party or any party. I could give a fuck who it is, right? I didn't love that's the best they had to run in the first place to get Trump out of office. Glad to see it happen. Let's not get it twisted, right? But I was worried that we would come to this impasse. May I remind you that I had the soundboard play, Lucifer Morningstar, okay? So now you're coming back to the well with this. If not him, who is still the goddamn answer? Because it ain't Kamala, right?
Well, it probably will be Kamala because that alone would be the fact that she's next in line.
No. See, that's the problem. And this is the point we were getting at. Both sides don't really have a good candidate. It's The Rock for the Dems and it's Trump for the Repubs. And neither are a proper politician. No disrespect to The Rock, of course.
So
I got really quiet after I said
no. I'm trying to bring the conversation. I'm trying to, if this thing will move faster, I'm trying to bring up the conversation I had with this person. Her name's Ariba Martin. She's a lawyer also too. I tweeted her this morning.
Just
saying,
check notifications. More than one person mentioned.
Let me read verbatim what I told her on Twitter. I said, just watch Ariba Martin's appearance on Stephen A. Smith show. My God, she's completely out of touch with the rest of the country with how the Democratic Party should perceive Joe Biden. Now, to her question, she responded to me saying, out of touch? No, bro. That's you and Stephen A. What is the plan for replacing Biden? I have not heard one single solitary plan that makes any sense, and it will not blow up the party. Point to one. I'll wait. Here's the problem with her thing. My stance on Joe Biden has nothing to do with what happened on Thursday. My stance has been consistent for almost 2 years now.
You're still.
I have been saying this for 2 years.
You do
he should have an election.
Still dodging the question.
They should have.
I know you've been saying it for a while, just like you did in the tweet, and I know that's kind of the point you're saying.
They should have had him not run again in the same way Lyndon Johnson did in 1968.
Great.
I would not seek re-election. Do a brokered fucking. You can do a broker at the convention, and they decide.
Okay.
Enter Gavin Newsom. Enter Andy Beshear. Enter Bernie Sanders. And anybody.
Okay. The fact that you said Bernie Sanders proves that this is an unserious topic on your part.
No. I'm just saying enter someone. Bernie's not going to run again. He's done. I'm just saying.
So don't remove that man's name from your fucking brain and your mouth.
Because we're
you've already lost the plot.
You want legit names. Okay, I gave you 2 right now. Come at this point, and you know I don't agree with it because she's polling lower than Joe Biden right now. Kamala Harris.
Okay, it ain't Kamala.
I agree with you, but she's at least coherent at this point. Okay.
And the other one was?
I had Andy Beshear. I had Josh Shapiro, you said also too.
Okay.
And Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom also.
I think Gavin Newsom is the only one that would even have a chance.
Gavin Newsom is my front runner.
Okay. And thank you for finally answering the question. Yeah. I wish you had done so on Twitter and taken the opportunity you were given. But that's a separate conversation.
Right. I'm just saying that my issue with her is that, and this is where her and I, here's the disconnect. Everybody now in the mainstream media is reacting post-debate. I'm pissed off because what everyone's reacting to post-debate, I have been fucking saying for almost 2 years now.
Yeah.
Okay,
please,
even after the midterms, it's on record on this very podcast. I've been saying this.
Yeah.
Jim, you know this too. It has nothing to do with Joe Biden and his performance as a president. I think he's doing a decent job, actually. The problem is, though, if you're telling me democracy's on the line, and your last line of defense is an 81-year-old corpse, and he goes up there and debate, watched by 51 million people, and he does that kind of shit, and undecided. Look, Trump's supporters doesn't matter. The Trump supporters not going to matter because Joe Biden had the cure to cancer in his hand, and they're still voting MAGA, no matter what. It's the 20% in the middle I'm concerned about that may go the other way. And to boot, he has enough issues as is now, politically speaking. The issue in Gaza being the one thing. That issue in Gaza isn't not that they'll go to Trump necessarily, but you'll create voter apathy. No one's going to show up to vote.
I mean, I think that's already kind of happened.
But we already feared that before, and then the Gaza shit happened.
I mean, no offense, EJ. You've been talking about the Gaza stuff for months.
And guess what, Jim? It's still a thing.
It is still a thing, but also in those months you've been talking about it, Biden has been at the very least, within 1 or 2 points above or below the even line. So if we're basing this on polling, which I know you love to do,
I do.
Then the Gaza thing doesn't have as much of an impact as you've been screaming into the void for the last 2 months.
But the only reason Biden still has a shot. Look, I don't agree with some of the commentators saying that now after the debate he has zero chance, because I disagree with that, because Donald Trump's in the race still, and Donald Trump has a lot of time to fuck up.
Right, and in the 3 days since the debate, we have watched the Supreme Court basically give him the fucking golden the golden key to do whatever the goddamn hell he wants, to basically spit in the face of a lot of things that this country is built on.
They said partial immunity, which is whatever.
Are we
yes, because we all know that thing about like the guy that wants to be dictator for a day. We all know that thing about dictators is they only want power for a little bit of time. That's the old gimmick I love.
Only for a day.
By the way, the only guy who actually lived that life and talked that talk was Julius Caesar, and he got killed for it. But the punchline's this, guys. Okay. Here's the problem I have with that whole line of response to what happened with the SCOTUS, Jim.
Okay.
The arguments are being made in spectacle fashion rather than practical. Okay. And I'll point the particular example. And Judge Sotomayor, listen, fan, dig what she does. I am not dissing her. I hate that she cited, somebody could take SEAL Team 6 and take on a political candidate. First of all, by the vague ass wording that's already there, evoking a fucking elite military force is an official act. So already that's been accounted for, even by this vague bullshit that is an obvious dodge by the Supreme Court to not draw a line in the sand, but to be bitches and then claim, well, we worded it vaguely for the states. Yeah, they put a glove in there so they can go let OJ stab, whoever. I get it. Rip OJ. But with all that in mind, listen, arguing it in bad faith, saying shit like that doesn't help things either. And that's how the Dems got the fuck where they are in the first place, by not arguing the proper points and dying on the wrong hills.
For the record, I think listeners of the podcast, watching the podcast on YouTube at youtube.com/EarnestChristian, it's clear that us three, for the most part, are on the same side here. I mean, I'm over Biden no matter what. If Biden, look, hold on. If this thing replaces Joe Biden in November, I'm over this thing in my hand.
Clearly, so everybody listening knows what you mean by that. What do you mean by the same side?
I think politically speaking, I think we're all, for the most part. I know Jim and I are on the same side.
We are all not wanting Trump in office.
Right.
That is the commonality, right?
Okay. Right. I think that's the commonality. Look, if they replace Joe Biden with this little protector here, protector getting my vote with Trump.
By the way, those
for the record,
aren't watching the video, he's pointing to what looks like a coin.
It's a car protector, actually, poker.
Oh, I couldn't tell. You got to be clear.
I apologize, but for me, it's the reason I'm not voting Trump is actually easy. It's not even have nothing to do with Trump himself. It's simple for me. It's policy. I don't agree on policy. Like if and people, some of my friends with Trump supporters like, why won't you vote for him? I go, look, put it this way, my own mother is my best friend. If my mom campaigned for president on Trump's rhetoric and ideas, mommy ain't getting votes from me, buddy. Sorry.
What's a
love you, mom? Love you, ma.
You question?
Well, first, we're divided on healthcare. My number one thing I care about when it comes to policy, and look, Democrats are not fully there yet either, but they're closer. But they're closer than Republicans are. Sorry. So until you fix that problem, you're never get my vote again. I've voted Republicans since 2004.
Nobody's going to fix the problem, though, until ICD-9 codes and the pricing and coding of these procedures are made transparent. It's almost as if I've worked in healthcare, as has my family.
Oh, right. Socially, I'm very much liberal. I'm way more left.
Yes, we're aware of the relationship with Tom Brady.
Where's the soundboard for that?
He's my goat.
That's Tommy. So,
Tommy!
To me personally, it's a policy thing. Trump's funny as hell. Look, Trump is good for me because Trump is easy content. As a content creator, great content. Easy. But I care about my country first.
And that's why you understand why people have been talking about Biden dropping out for the last 3 days really, really loudly.
Yeah, because right, but
the media needs Trump.
Hold on.
Oh no doubt. No, I agree with that.
Jim, that was a bitchin' drop by you. I didn't even think of that. That was nice.
I mean, I'm just saying.
That we agree
about you being woke Jim and being obtuse on Twitter. When you Ron Jeremy shit, I gotta tell you.
That's true.
And back to the original question, because I don't want to get it lost. The Democrats should not remove Joe Biden.
Why?
Because there isn't a viable option to beat Trump. Is that a good thing? No. Is like, and here's the thing, like, and my friend Ryan and I, you guys know Ryan, he and I have talked about this many a times on many a drives back and forth to Hershey, Pennsylvania over the last 2 months. Go Bears.
Nice.
But like, and we've talked about it many times even before that. Like, am I thrilled that I have to vote for Joe Biden? Not really. Like, many times I go, how the fuck did we get here with both of these guys? Like, literally, what the fuck are we doing? But because we can't go like 4 years presidentless to think about what the fuck we've done.
I can take care of that for you.
Like,
Hillary ran the historically worst campaign of all time.
Well,
without question.
Blame the Democratic Party as well for that, but that's a whole nother bag of trouble.
Foul for content.
I also blame Bernie Sanders for that as well. But yeah, that's a whole separate list of issues.
Foul for content also.
Although she ended up being right about a lot of things. But anyway, that's a whole nother. It's
a bad campaign, Jim.
Exactly. But like, so no, I'm not thrilled about having to vote Joe Biden, but I'm 100% without question, unapologetically, am voting him without any. I mean, they could wheel the guy into his own voting booth on a deathbed, and I'm still voting for that guy. Like, there's literally nothing that you can do, with the exception of him removing himself, which again I do not think is going to happen, nor should it. And voting for that guy. Now, what I think. And I've been saying this. I don't know if I've tweeted it. Things get lost in the Twitter storms that occur. But what I think that campaign needs to do, which first off, everybody's talking about Thursday night. Nobody's talking about Friday when he's in front of a very energetic crowd, looking like the Joe Biden that we've known to not be quote unquote Sleepy Joe or whatever you want to call him. Like, he was very vibrant on Friday. He was very vibrant again today. I thought he delivered a great message last night. But what that campaign and what that administration needs to do is just that. They need to lean into the fact that you're voting in administration. You're not voting just a man. You're voting in administration.
The problem is no one's watching a campaign event. They're watching a fucking debate. 51 million people watching a debate versus a random campaign.
Okay, so the next time there's a debate, don't have him travel around the world for like the 8-9 days leading up to it, and don't have him doing a shitload of groundwork the morning of.
Now, let me be clear
Learn
about
from what happened on Friday.
Let me be clear about
We're still 4 months out.
right. Let me be clear about this one, my stance on the debate, because I actually watched the entire thing, start to finish.
Hashtag you problem.
I'm a nerd. It is what it is.
Oh, it's not.
No, well, it is what it is. I watch all debates too. I watch that show all the time.
Before you get your thoughts on it,
Go ahead.
Yes or no? Did he not? Now, granted, I'm not saying that either guy did well, okay? But yes or no, Joe got a little more. He steadied as the night went on, where Trump got.
I'm getting
off
there.
the rail. Okay.
And I made this clear on social media. On actual substance and policy talk. And for the record, the actual layout of this debate was actually perfect. Jaden Bash and I thought who was the other one that hosted the fucking thing? Jake Tapper. I thought they did a good job. I know the fact checking thing was an issue. We'll get to that in a second.
I'm gonna have to push back. If the
Why
issue is they didn't check facts in the debate, you can't at the same time say they did a good job.
If they're gonna check facts on this debate with Trump there, we would have been there till Saturday morning. Facts. Then because that dude laughed 32 times. 32 times.
I have seen the staffs that football media people carry. Okay. And I also know that in the media world, you are chock full of people looking for opportunities. Don't tell me you couldn't fucking find the people to do the thing.
I think they try to fine line with that also too, because I think if they had to fact check Trump over and over again, then he had to complain. So, well, they make it about you, not about the fucking debate itself. So again, I wish they did fact check them also, but the reality is, the reality is,
so they did a good job at what being
not making about so because everybody was saying coming to the
pointing
debate
to him and saying, "Okay, Mr. Trump, it's your turn." Okay, Mr. President, it's your turn. If that's what they did a good job in, then okay. I will debate. The validity of good job.
How much ground has Trump gained in debates? Period. Just bullying people, talking over people, talking when it's not his turn. And if they achieve that, to EJ's point,
especially, and I will, EJ. I promise I will let you.
No. Go ahead. You're good.
Your thoughts on it. But if you look back at one of the what I thought was one of the best moments from the leading up to the 2020 election, those debates, is when as much of, again, a clown show as these things are, especially now in today's environment, when Trump would not shut up because it was a live mic, Biden literally told him, "Shut up, man."
By the way, if you haven't seen the epic rap battles of history with the two of them, that line closes that.
I think I saw that actually. I think I saw that.
If I still have it saved on my phone, because I did post it to my Instagram stories yesterday, but there's a really interesting not review is the wrong word, but description of really the tactic that the Trump people and Trump exploited because of the live mics. It's almost like a form of gaslighting, because he can spend a minute and a half or 2 minutes or whatever it is lying his ass off, knowing that that nobody can stop him. And then when he does, you have a guy who, yes, is older, tired, has always had a stutter, and is going to try to both give his perspective, but then try to react to, and that creates a problem.
Trump.
I
hear that. So what I hear you telling me, Jim, first of all, thank you for bringing that up, because that's a good point. Hey, Trump is going to bullshit anyway. There's no way anybody can dig through that. You said all that, Jim. You know what I pictured? Jurassic Park and Jeff Goldblum walking up to the Triceratops pile going, that is one big pile of shit.
Right, pulling the glasses off. Yes.
Yeah. I get it, buddy. So here's the way you retort that. If we've learned nothing else from Donald J. Trump, okay, substance is cute and all, but it doesn't matter. If he's lobbing this much bullshit, spending time cutting him down and exposing him like Janet Jackson in the first debate, at least, is far more valuable than substance today. There's time for substance. So what I hear you twice telling me is, A, first of all, his campaign has him running all over hell's half acre leading into this motherfucker. And then they're not preparing him for getting barraged by bullshit and not seeing the opportunity to cut him to pieces, being prepared to do that with all the bullshit that he will shuffle right there. If you have the facts, pound the facts. If you have the law, pound the law. If you have neither, pound the table. And all Trump's going to do is pound the table. Make him fucking pay for it.
Trump's thing always has been to flood the zone, cause chaos, flood the zone. Oh, look here. No, here. No, here.
My point.
Yeah.
Those guys should be hush. My dumb ass who doesn't run for office. I'm an out of work fucking bum. These motherfuckers getting paid to advise Biden are getting paid hundreds of thousands, if not millions, and couldn't see what I do right here. Get the fuck out.
Now, as someone who actually watched the debate from start to finish, actually,
Yes.
as someone who watched the debate from start to finish, yes, condolences to me, of course.
Yeah, you problem, right?
Yes.
On
Thank you, bro.
on substance, even though Biden had a hard time coherently delivering what he tried to say, he did very well. He won on substance alone. But we all know, especially these last couple cycles, these debates ain't about substance. It's a fucking beauty pageant. And Donald Trump, he lied his fucking ass. And hell, I caught him in real time, 4 lies. And that I knew off the top of my head, like, that's a fucking lie. That's a fucking lie.
So where's Tapper?
Again, same situation.
Look,
when Donald Trump is out of the paint and we get back to hopefully normal.
Tapper's doing the thing. You remember in Christmas Vacation when Clark Griswold pays for the pool before he gets the bonus check?
Yeah.
That's what Jake Tapper and CNN are doing right now. That's what MSNBC is doing right now. Because, we all know that the second Trump presidency is going to be a fucking nightmare. Hopefully not as bad as I think it could be. But they know that they're about to fucking feed their kids and put them through even more schooling because of it. So that's what Jake Tapper's doing. He's going money.
You don't think he wouldn't? Wait, hold on though. That's where I'll push back. I hear you, and maybe that's true, but that's some short-sighted bullshit. How much money have people who have doubled down made on the red side? The Quanons and the Shapiros and the Clay Travises and all those people have gone on to do incredibly well. Some people are grifting. Some people are just in spaces where they're demanded. After all, that is what economics are, is supply and demand. And you work for it is CNN, who allegedly is the liberal network, as Jim cited earlier, right?
Allegedly.
How on
Allegedly.
earth, sir? How on earth are they not retained by doing that shit? And I think the point being, regardless of what you say about substance, Jim, and granted, I do not watch CNN every day, so maybe they've since pivoted and said, "Oh, never mind, you want on substance."
Oh, I don't watch news every day. You think I'm a miserable fuck now? If I watch the news every day, it'd be a lot worse.
I mean the alleged nerd, not you, Jim.
Gotcha.
Okay. You said Jim. That's why.
I'm so sorry.
Yes.
I beg your pardon. Tool. There. Now we have a clear.
There we go.
But first,
I don't want.
Jim, I question you because you're talking with politics about a man who doesn't like crinkle fries. You have different problems, okay?
Oh no, Ryan!
We all have our problems.
Bastard!
Way out of line. Way out of
line.
No, but that's my thing though. How is Tapper afraid if he's a member of the quote liberal media side that's hosting this humpy bumpy? At what point? Listen, I still contend we should have Arnold Schwarzenegger moderate these motherfuckers. Okay?
Oh my
I'm
God.
serious. Think about it. Back when it would have been relevant, right? President Obama, I hear about the situation with your birth certificate. I have a question. Who is your daddy and what does he do? You come on. You know we'd be all up in those motherfuckers.
Ratings through the roof.
Come on, man.
Ratings through the roof.
I joke about the Schwarzenegger thing. But in all seriousness, Tapper have a chance to make a shit ton of cash doing what's air quotes right for America by calling Trump out. I don't see, and maybe he doesn't see it the way I do, obviously, but the fear thing isn't real to me, man. I mean, some people do dig their rice bowls, though. You're not wrong, Jim.
I think my position overall is that it should be considered. It should be considered that Biden should drop out. I'm not saying yes, do it definitely, but
you don't think
I think there's at least some pushback now. There's some pushback. I don't think he will. I think he will be in place. But the reason why I'm concerned now is that I've been concerned for 2 years now. But even more so now.
Yeah,
it's because you keep telling me democracy's on the line. You keep telling me if Trump wins in November, we're not gonna have a country anymore. So if you tell me that there's so much urgency with this, that I'm treating it as such. You can't and you can't have a guy Joe Biden who yes, can he do the job? Can he do the work of president? Well, he's been doing the work of the president the last couple of years. So yes, he could. But the reality is,
lead into the fact that you're electing an administration.
But the reality is, the casuals who don't follow politics day to day, they see this, and we've been hearing for 2-3 years now about his mental capacities and that, and then you have that happen on Thursday. That's a problem.
Seen, and that's what makes it dangerous.
Right.
Listen, this is the Ray Rice situation all over again. There have been plenty of players in
Great point.
with misgivings and transgressions, okay? But until somebody saw that shit get KO'd in a goddamn elevator, nobody blinked twice at Ray Rice.
This is not 2012. This is not 2012. If Mitt Romney had beaten Obama, I would have been fine with that because I actually like Mitt Romney, and Mitt Romney would have run a solid country. He might agree with everything he does, but he's not a threat to democracy.
True, but also, to my very point, what did Mitt in?
The corporation 47%.
A video,
correct.
Goddamn right.
Yeah, the 47% thing, which I get. He's playing to his base, but Mitt Romney, I don't question his intent. I don't question his threat to democracy. We just disagree on policy, which is fine. Disagree on policy. John McCain, same thing.
But EJ, something I've said to you over the last couple of days is look at the people that are most loudly talking about Biden needs to drop out, Biden needs to change, really exploiting what we saw on Thursday, which seemed more jarring than an occasional stutter here or whatever.
Post debate or during the
debate? Well, the reaction post debate. The people that are talking the loudest about it are, again, as I've been trying to say to you, for the most part, again, there are outliers, but for the most part, there are people who want/need Trump to win to benefit from it the most. Again, news organizations, whether Jake Tapper sitting in his living room tonight going, fuck, Don might win. CNN as a network needs Trump to win. MSNBC as a network needs Trump to win because there is more value to those networks to talk about how bad things are because Trump is in office than to talk about, Trump's campaigning again. This guy's a nightmare. And look at these things the Biden administration has done for the country. Right? So, the people that are most loudly talking about it are the ones who need Trump to win. And also, people want to keep talking about the mental whatevers of Joe Biden, but will plain as day ignore similar things, almost identical things happening to Donald Trump in real time.
It depends on the media. Depends on the media because
first of all,
independent media does bring it out all the time.
Not
mainstream media, not so much. Well, it depends on who you follow because I'm a little more plugged in probably than most of you guys when it comes to that stuff. I follow Breaking Points and other shows. I'm more independent.
Please don't be surprised.
Those undecided peoples that you've been talking about for the last 40 minutes, those aren't the ones that are following those sites as well. By the way,
some of them are. Some of them are.
The majority are not. When I talk about these things, I talk about majorities. The majority of the people are getting their information from social media, or they're getting it from, Fox, MSNBC, CNN, whatever. They're getting it from their major outlets.
You know what it is though with Trump though? The reason why they probably don't say anything on CNN, for example,
because it's just Trump. He's fucking psycho.
No. Not only that, because those things are the least of his problems. They're leaning on the legal shit and everything else in between. He has so much.
The other reason they don't do that is because they'll be handing fodder to Fox to retort with too. Okay, so if you do that, you've also bolstered the competition, not necessarily in terms of politics. That just happens to line up here. But to Jim's point, you're filling your competitive network's rice bowls, taking your shit and throwing it back at you.
Fair point. But okay, for the record, I don't watch CNN normally. I don't watch MSNBC normally, Fox News normally. A lot of my news I get
I'm sure I watch all three of them less than you.
No, I don't watch them at all. I
may
watch CNN. I told Jim this 2 years ago during the midterms. I love CNN's election coverage. Like
their election coverage is phenomenal.
But to the day-to-day news, I don't watch that. I
Where
watch Breaking Points.
I consume CNN is watching Don Lemon getting dunked on YouTube. Okay, that's basically it.
And now, EJ, another thing I know you and I have talked about in 2020, in 2022, and one of the glimmers of hope that I'm still going to try to hold on to is that there are a lot of people 35, 30 and younger that when you talk about polling and we talk about averages and we talk about odds and all of that, the generation that is younger than us sitting here in this room are ones that aren't really participating in polling. They're not taking those texts, they're not taking those calls. If their phone rings and they pick it up and they see political call, they're hitting the silent button and they're putting it down. Our generation and older, they're the ones answering the call, they're answering the questions, they love to be involved in that stuff. The generation behind us, like I've said this to you numerous times, they're going to be poor no matter what. The one thing that they don't want to happen is have their basic human rights, their friends' human rights, their females in their lives, people in the LGBT plus Q plus community, all of these people that see what is potentially, again, I will use the word potentially, because we don't know what's going to happen if Trump gets elected. But if we're going off things that he's telling us and policy ideas allegedly behind his campaign, there's a lot of people who are scared of what their rights and what their future is going to look like. And I think that is why we didn't see the alleged red wave that Clay Travis was mortgaging his second house on in 2022.
Oh, I was wrong on that. I was wrong on that.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
So that is one of the things that as admittedly horrifying as the last couple of days have been, that's one of the things that I'm kind of holding on to that hope for, because that's going to be the great the question factor when we go into election day in 126 days is how many of these people who have not participated in our traditional polling process, how many is there going to be enough to swing? Is there going to be enough? And again, think about all that has happened from Thursday to this point, right? We have 126 more of these fucking days till we get to election day. So there's a lot more scary, and God knows what the fuck's going to happen between now and November 5th. But I think that's one of the great question marks going into that.
I'm going to jump in with one bit.
Go.
Because of all the shit I talk on Jim, he deserves this uplift. Who are the two highest total vote gainers in a federal presidential election in American history? Number
Biden,
one,
Donald Trump,
is Joe. Number two is the other guy that lost the fucking election. What does that tell you? We're getting more turnout than ever before. And if this shit continues and we actually manage to outrage this potential air quotes you're talking about, that inclusion, see, there you go, using inclusion without it being polarizing, that inclusion of people going to the fucking polls and putting their 2 goddamn cents in might be what gets this back on track. And there's an element of me that thinks that Dems will not remove Biden because, you know what? If Joe wins, Trump's supplanted. If they don't, it becomes a bigger shit show when Trump in office, and then people get outraged and do another big turnout for us. It's a win-win from the Dems situation and point of view. So take that for consideration too.
The problem is, and this is why I was concerned before the debate, and it's not a knock on you, Jim, and our mutual friend Rob the Genius, because on the podcast all the time. We did.
Genius is like a guy calling himself the god on a radio.
Yeah,
show.
but he's really smart. He's actually a really smart guy, a mathematician, all that. Is that I feel like you two especially, but him especially too, because he's a full in the wool Democrat, like classic Democrat for many decades, whatever. I feel like you guys still are very naive. Like I bring up Gaza on the podcast last November to you guys when we did that gold roundtable, us three, and Rob said that it won't be an issue come next summer or next fall. Gaza is still front and center right now. Gaza might be the issue. Forget the debate.
EJ,
Gaza might be the issue that actually prevents voter turnout. To Cal's point about turnout, Gaza may prevent turnout for Biden.
I don't know.
And open up for Trump. Look,
EJ, no offense.
Go ahead.
I haven't seen anybody talking about Gaza over the last.
You haven't.
Okay.
Look. I have multiple family members in my family who are Democrats or supporters of Biden, ever, who have said they are not voting at all in this election because it's a protest vote because of Biden. They call him Genocide Joe. Okay, you have a lot of that going on right now. Michigan, that he barely won in 2020. Has a massive Arab American population, and a lot of them are pissed at Joe Biden. They're not going to vote for Trump. They're not going to vote at all.
I'm not saying this specifically about your family members. I'm saying it about people, generally speaking. That's very easy to say 126 plus days out from the election as well.
A, B, let me double down with this. I'm not going to sit on the fence on this one. Okay. If you have people out there that are actually supporting a group that if they met you, they would shoot you in your fucking face, that's a you problem and you deserve to lose the election.
Explain that one more time. Does it make sure I'm okay with that?
So the Genocide Joe stuff is coming from the whole, we call it Palestine. It shouldn't be called Palestine. It should be called the whole Hamas versus Israel debate.
Thank you.
Correct?
Right, I agree with you 100%. For the record, I'm with you.
If you are voting against Joe because you support Hamas, not Palestine, but Hamas, you just call it Palestine because you have been trained by ignorant motherfuckers that are portraying the story incorrectly, and not for the absolute shit show it is. And I know people roll their eyes, but it's the facts of the case on both sides, right? In my opinion, Israel is the less bad side because they're not the ones using to the sea in their river to the sea. Somebody out. Say it again so people can hear it.
From the river to the sea.
Correct. They're not using that rhetoric the same way. I'm not saying the Israelis are perfect either. Let me be clear, right? But I'm not
that's a very touchy subject. That whole thing, very touchy subject.
But the punchline is this: if you are going gays for Palestine, really, they would shoot you in the face if they met you. Period.
No, the key I said there, Kyle, was they're not voting against Joe Biden. They're not voting at all. They're staying home.
Okay, sure. And that's just the same as voting against Joe.
Allegedly, but that's what they tell us. If you don't vote for Biden,
so I'm going to break it down that quickly.
True. That way. Because the thing, I know you've said it, EJ, I've said it, that the problem isn't the number of Democrats versus the number of Republicans. It's the number of Democrats that get out.
Oh, here we go again. Turnout. The data guy prevails one more time.
But it's not like we've not seen this before in recent history. The reason Hillary Clinton lost the election.
No.
Lack of turnout also, in addition to
turnout is better than it's ever been. If you are doing something this dumb, two failings have taken place. A, you're ignorant. Okay, it's kind of an American thing to do if you're a voter. Okay. B, the campaign for Biden has botched this so bad that he's being called Genocide Joe. Let me get this straight. For not advocating a terrorist group in government. That should be a goddamn slam dunk.
And the sad part about this, fellas, is that the same people, and look, I get Joe Biden's in a rock and hard place in this situation. Donald Trump is 10 times worse on the issue. If you think not voting Joe Biden's the issue,
exactly.
Donald Trump is 10 times worse.
Exactly.
He gives zero fucks about Palestine and Gaza.
He's literally said, or maybe not literally, figuratively said that, if elected, he will do whatever it takes to help Israel win.
Right. So
again, Jim, I agree with you. For the record, I'm with you.
But again,
I'm just giving you the narrative.
I understand that, and I'm not discrediting the people in your family that say they're not voting. I believe them. I don't know them, but I believe them. If they say they're not voting, they're not voting. However, it is, and this is something Rob said, and I agree with him, that that is a very easy thing to say on July 2nd, 2024. Okay, or November 2023 when we first talked about this. Right. That's a very easy thing to say. I'm just not going to vote. Okay, but think about the way that a lot of these things are. Whatever you think, whatever you believe about what the Supreme Court decision yesterday, whatever you think about the criminal convictions, all of that. Think about all that has happened between November and today, and we still have 4 more months. Okay, it will be much more difficult to make that decision for some people come November, depending with what is potentially, and I again will use that word potentially, what is potentially on the line on November 5th when you walk or don't into that voting booth. Okay, there's a lot more at stake than Gaza. And I have seen people who have once said, I wasn't even going to vote in this thing, but over the last couple of weeks, they have said, I am 100% getting out and voting because the stakes are bigger than Gaza. No offense to the horrible things that are happening over there, because it is horrific what is happening over there. Let's be 100% clear about that.
For 2,000 years, it's been a shit show, Jim.
Thank you. That is a huge part of it. But what is happening over there, okay, is going to continue to happen. Okay? And whether Trump is elected, Biden is elected, Kamala's elected, RFK Jr., just kidding. He ain't getting elected. No matter who gets elected in November, the stuff that's happening over there is going to continue to happen. Okay? That is, there's very little facts that I know months out, but that is a fact. Okay? But the thing that this election can have a huge impact on are things that happen here, and the rights that happen to us here, and the things that impact American life potentially as we know it. And the fact that there's likely in the next 4 years going to be 2 or 3 members of the Supreme Court that are going to have to be replaced. That's a pretty fucking big deal. Okay. So it's very easy to say in July, I'm not voting because Gaza. Talk to me in October. Talk to me at the beginning of November. Let's see if you have the same tune. That's all I'm saying.
Wait, Kyle, get you a second. Please. I'm saying, Jim, and this is for Rob, because Rob will be on the show a couple weeks later in the month when we do a SummerSlam preview.
Your content figures.
Yeah. Is just don't be naive to the fact that there are people like this in bunches who may not come on to vote for Joe. Okay. This is before we even equate the post-debate stuff.
Right.
There's a lot of landmines. I look, Jim, I am 1,000% with you. I agree with you. In fact, the members that had this issue, I told them, no offense to you, but if you don't vote for Biden, look, and again, no one's let's say for the record, folks here, listen to the podcast.
Don't be rude.
Don't be rude. No one is entitled to your vote. Not Joe Biden, not Donald Trump, not Cornel West, not Jill Stein, not fucking Chase Oliver. Okay,
great
the Libertarian Party. Okay, no one's entitled to your vote at the end of the day. But the data does show if you are, between the two on this issue, this is a no-win issue. But it is clear that Donald Trump is worse on the issue than Joe Biden. And if you don't want this issue to get far worse,
he's worse favoring Israel than Biden even.
Correct.
There you go.
So if you're pro-Palestine, you don't want Donald Trump as the president, because anything you want to be 10 times worse.
Say it how you mean it. Genocide Joe, put that in air quotes for those who are watching the video, right, is the lesser evil to
Donald Trump.
5.
Correct.
Yeah. And he's told you that already, because in rhetoric, he's told you that.
I had the best points of how much of a Zionist I am.
That's my fear is I don't want it to be a thing where like, oh, no big deal, because there's a lot of Democratic Party just aloofness, a lot of things that no big deal, they'll come on vote anyway. We saw this shit 8 years ago.
I understand that, but also again, because you EJ, particularly more than me, love polling. And when you look at polls from November till now, like there hasn't been a great swing because of Gaza. Okay, they're all kind of within the same margin depending on who's paying for the poll. That's a key element. You know, like that's a big key there. But it hasn't in polling to this point had the impact that you have thought it was going to.
And let me step in with this point too, as the guy in the room that is the data professional. And
who's that? Who's that, buddy?
Motherfucker, not you.
I'm fucking with you, bro. Come on, relax. I have a question real quick though, before we go further. For data professional, quick. As you do that, answer this question too before you wrap into this.
Right.
Do you polling? What's your opinion on polling?
It's a wash because typically speaking, when the polls are taken, there's not enough information on the sampling for me to take it seriously, right? To Jim's point, how are most polls conducted? Nerd, you know the answer to this, right? How are most polls conducted? Phone. Specifically, because you can't just say phone in this day and age, motherfucker.
It's true. I know that.
Specifically by, say it out loud.
Landline.
Phone calls. Not
calls,
even
right.
necessarily, but telephone calls.
Right.
Not anything on social media, not any websites, not anything clickable as a link. Now, as the person in the room that teaches interns about media, though I don't know why, whole other question, but what's the one thing I keep preaching to my various people who are under my wing talking media shit, whether it's my guy Nick Porcelli, who's going to talk hockey with me on the Student of the Game on Wednesday here, whether it's my guy Bryson Turner at the Black and Gold Banneret, or whether it's my guy who's not an intern, just a bad mamma jamma who I played flag football with and came to find out he's a talented guy talking football in Travis D. Holmes of Big Cat Country on the Duval Dive. The thing I say consistently is don't put anything out if it doesn't have a fucking link attached to it. Meaning, no one's going to take the time to answer a phone call, to go to this and type shit out. All right? And that eliminates. Basically, it keeps, well, hey, this is your show. I'm supposed to curse. It keeps the old fucks in the room exclusively. Right? And I know you joke that I'm the old guy. No, I mean the old fucks. All right? The one that's generally not oldest population in the fucking country, EJ'Christian, but the ones that most regularly turn out to the polls. Okay? Now, if I want to hear about an opinion of what the repubs are probably thinking, I'll pay a little attention. Okay? As for what's going on with the Dems, the way they came out and blasted votes for both Obama and Joe blew my fucking mind, man. And the way I knew Hillary was in trouble was hearing how she wasn't accommodating those same people not known for turning out. Now, we're talking about age demographic. In the case of Hillary, it was purely race and social demographics. Okay, beyond age. Age is technically a social demographic.
Right, of course. Yeah.
Okay, but as the data person in the room, I feel compelled to bring up the non-data point because the data person in the room can tell you when you're bullshitting with your fucking data. Just like these assholes like you, EJ'Christian, that want to try to compare Daniel Jones to Trevor Lawrence. Go fuck yourself.
Whoa. I never did that. Stop that shit. Stop that shit. All right, move on. Next.
Jim, did you see me trigger him?
Oh my God. Move on. Next topic.
How does it feel, bitch? How does it feel? Anyway.
And that's how we end that segment. Good job.
But
all
let
right.
me back on the, hold on. Let me
okay. Oh, one more.
Finish the point.
Okay, go ahead.
What Jim and the goddamn genius are trying to tell you is
you're a goddamn genius.
There's still time for the Mitt Romney video for either candidate to come out. There's still time for somebody to do, and this is anecdotal, what's tantamount to grab them by the pee, okay? Because I'm not even comfortable saying that word, but apparently Donnie is, okay?
He still won at that video, though, buddy.
Shut the fuck up. That's not the point. Pay attention.
He's the one at that video, though, bro.
I'm not done. I know you're the host here, but stop interrupting, okay? What it did do was mobilize my wife, who had previously been relatively politically inactive, and gotten her so riled up to become politically active that she feels, incorrectly I might add, that she has to point out to me what institutional racism is. And for those that don't know, I'm a card-carrying member of the CFA-BJ, that's the Central Florida Association of Black Journalists. Yes, I know I'm technically white, still a member. Somebody who's helped...
I stand.
A better one than G. Celio, right?
Allegedly.
who's interviewed minority members of local politics and helped them in their campaigns, thusly getting the word out for them, right? She feels like the whitest chick you've ever met can tell me what institutional racism is. And she was motivated and moved by that statement. Granted, he won the election, but he didn't win the fucking next one because of that bullshit. And if there's an opportunity for there be a galvanizing, inspiring moment, and hey, Joe could fuck up that big too. Let's put that out there. This goes both ways, right? That catalyst moment still hasn't happened yet. And to Jim and the goddamn genius's point, there's still too much fucking time for it to go wrong. What month did the Romney gaffe happen?
That was
October?
in October.
Jesus Christ, EJ.
We're
October
literally
2012.
3 months from October.
And that's their point.
All right. That was good. That was a good discussion point about this.
Gotcha, bitch.
All right. Let's switch over to the next topic on the docket for content here.
More people, can you pause on the recording? Seriously.
Yeah.
We're
16
in, man. I need a drink.
I know, it's great. What's your drink at? You just had a beer, didn't you?
I finished them both, asshole.
You fucking fat ass. Anyway,
It's been an hour. Fuck you. I'll eat a cookie, you diabetic bitch.
71A1C going down.
Diabetes.
You know what? Congratulations. Seriously, joking aside. That's
It's been tough. But we gotta talk, you and I, again about that.
Bitch, it's been tough. You act like I don't know. Shut up.
I gotta talk to you about some ideas, man. I need help. Okay. Anyway, we are 2 weeks removed from the NBA Finals.
Yes.
1 week removed from the Stanley Cup Finals.
Drew Holiday MVP. I said it.
By the way, Celtic fan Danny G on his podcast said he should have been MVP.
Holy shit. I think that might be the
Correct.
first time I agreed with him.
Yeah, just saying. And we were discussing on our text machine for the last, however long, about the coverage of both the finals, Stanley Cup and NBA Finals. Jim, what's your issue with NHL coverage in general?
Can I go?
Wait. What?
I have one sentence. I'm going to go first real quick.
Go.
I miss Barry Melrose. Go, Jim.
There you go. Yeah, no,
Me too.
I want to publicly apologize to the NHL and NBC Sports. I never knew how good we had it until it was gone. I think my biggest gripe with the NHL coverage as a whole, and this goes now ESPN/ABC carried, I think, from the conference finals the whole way out. Prior to that and throughout the course of the season, nationally they air on both TNT and ESPN. My biggest gripe with them is first off, their studio crews are horrible. Now they have a few good ones. God bless Wayne Gretzky, the man, greatest guy ever to put skates on ice. Not great sitting in a chair with a sweater vest on. Then you
shit at talking NFL too. It happens.
Paul Bissonnette was like a career idiot, moron, a clown show on ice. You have this guy as a studio analyst. PK Subban, Mark Messier. Again, Messier, great on ice, terrible in the booth. Steve Levy, great on Sports Center, great on video packages, terrible as a in-between period hockey analyst. My God. Sean McDonough. Holy hell. We went from Doc Emmerich to fucking Sean McDonough. I mean, the man could put a fucking espresso to sleep. Like, I have never heard someone so bored to call goals in a Stanley Cup fucking final.
Go.
Than this fucking guy. There's guys calling. Dude, go find the video of the Florida Everblades winning their third straight ECHL Kelly Cup this year. Put that motherfucker in the ESPN booth. Put Zach Fish of the Calder Cup champion Hershey Bears. Yes, repeat the roar, gentlemen. 13 Calder Cups back to back.
Go right ahead and drop your Hershey Bears, because don't act like I didn't fucking notice you localized.
Yeah, by the way, we have Wake now because you don't know the next fucking 10 months are gonna be fucking depressed as shit.
Darn right. This is my time. This is my time. Here now, this is my time.
Hopefully Orioles do well for you. We'll see.
Captain, my time here. Let me give you more props. Don't act like I didn't notice the Everblades drop up in this bitch. Okay.
I knew you would appreciate it.
I don't know whether to be enraged because they're the local Solar Bear rivals or impressed. Maybe both. Thank you, Jim. How about that?
There's so many good hockey broadcasters out there, and it just seems like ESPN went, hey, we have that really cool theme song that people loved in the 90s, so we can go rest on everything else. And like, it just sucks, man, because like, yes, I love football. Obviously, we're going to talk about Huddle Up Podcast Bing. Starting in in a month from now. We're going to have episodes dropping next week as well.
In 2 weeks, you'll be, or not two, in 3 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks, I'm right.
2 weeks.
In 2 weeks, you'll be talking NFC East here for the Student of the Game simulcast.
Bing.
All right, and then we're going to do some Morales recording that we haven't gotten to this point. If you want more information on the how and the why about that, check out my observations and discussions with nobody. That's right, motherfuckers. 2 podcasts last week.
Clearing the menu. Look at that, buddy.
Love it.
I've hard.
Been since I heard a fire station bell go off. Fuck.
But man, it's such a bummer because it is my favorite sport, and I just feel like the networks that are producing it nationally just do such a bad job. And it's not even that it's a bad job. It's just a like mediocre. We have the people, and here's the thing, man. To their credit, somehow, because the NHL, thank you, Gary Bettman, you dumb fucking rat. You do a terrible job at marketing your league. The networks are piss poor at producing the broadcast for your league, and somehow you've gotten more people to watch it since like 2009. So maybe that's partially because there's a Canadian team that almost won it for the first time since '94, but.
Did you
besides
just Canada?
What's that?
94.
Did you just blame Canada?
Wait,
a little bit.
That's an insult. 94 was my boys. Chill the fuck out, Jim.
Oh, sorry, 93.
So get your shit right. Thank you.
Your boys, get the fuck out of here.
I don't
30
think
years.
Canucks won that one, EJ.
No, Rangers won in 7 games.
I mean, the wildest part about it is for all you stat heads at home, there's an American team who won the Canadian Football League's Grey Cup more recently than a Canadian team has won the Stanley Cup. That's right. Look it up. The Baltimore Stallions, they played 2 years in the CFL and they won the Grey Cup, one of those.
Listen, bow before your masters, motherfucker. The state of Florida has won more goddamn Stanley Cups in the past 5 years.
Boom!
Know your role, bitch.
You don't hate Tampa though. So
but yeah, it's just such a bummer because there's so many quality people on both within NHL franchises that cover the sport, that work in the AHL, the ECHL, and then on numerous independent markets, that could do such a better job, but that's a problem across the board anyway.
Go ahead, Kyle. Go ahead.
Quickly, and here's what I'll state is probably the biggest problem, and it's because studio execs don't differentiate different sports to cover other things, right? And I run into this all the fucking time with the black and gold banneret. Bing! People expect the basketball team, for example. We're in Florida. UCF doesn't have a hockey team problem. Or proper. Like, don't expect the Knights to be in the Frozen Four anytime soon. I get it, okay? But I make that comparison this way because everybody's complaining how many losses the basketball team has, or it's not the same, guys, okay? And you have to adjust to the differences of the sport to staff your staff, so to speak. A, B, and listen, I'm not a guy who likes Mark Messier per se, but I respect what he was for the game. He was an enforcer with a little bit of hockey skill. Let's call that. You would call him that, you fucking bum.
Ranger, fucking Ranger, dude. Come on.
Yeah, he was a Ranger that was carried by a late age Gretzky, okay, and not late age Twilight like Arizona. But anyways,
He won 94 without Gretzky. What are you talking about? Gretzky wasn't on that fucking Rangers team that won Stanley Cup in 94.
Great, you live in the past. What is that?
30 years.
Do your thing, dog.
You had to see that. You had to see with your eyes.
The punchline is this, okay? When I look at Mark Messier, I don't think personality.
Oh no.
Which is a fair assessment.
Okay. Meanwhile, if you get NFL coverage, Jeff Saturday, say what you will about him, entertaining guy to talk to. I know I had the chance to do so. Okay. Jason Witten, not entertaining guy to talk to. Wasn't surprised when he struggled a little bit. He's too humble for the fucking job. Great human being, never would have hired him, but he got hired too, right? This is the mistake that execs make, is they take guys with names and don't think about actual talent. Okay. Actual talent will magnetize you to them. Now, am I technically speaking kind of campaigning for myself and hoping that I get a job because people understand this point eventually? Fuck yes. But the punchline that Jim's making is absolutely true. Yeah. There's so many local guys that are better talented than people that are out there. And in hockey, I think it's just doubled down because in addition to that fact you mentioned, Jim, it's a regional sport. It's a niche sport, and it does not draw the same attention from networks similarly to apply resources and talent to. They just slap a name on it. They'll come anyway because they're fucking loyal, which you are, Jim.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, there's nobody, hockey fans, love their sport. Hockey fans love their sport. It's hard to attract casuals to the NHL.
Either you love it or you don't love it. Either you love it or you like it. There's no middle ground with hockey. Yeah,
correct.
To your point. I can't speak on the coverage, especially of late, because my setup downstairs in the house at night with the wife is that we have 2 TVs downstairs. So if the game was on during the playoffs, that game would be on mute on the TV, and we're watching our shows on other TV as well too. So
right, you'd be watching the Heat and the Mets, and actually
no. We're watching whatever movie we're watching, what TV show we're watching. Like we watch
because that makes it better for your sports knowledge. Cool. Okay.
Bitch, pay me first, and then I'll pay more attention. Okay,
that's not how it works.
Too bad. Anyway, so no, but I watch it. I still watch it, but it'd be she'll have it on TV. I'll have the volume down. But the same complaint, not as widespread all year long. Although, yeah, I mean, the studio show with ESPN is not as. Look, here's the problem: the NBA and TNT. There's no studio show in sports better than Ernie, Chuck, Kenny, and Shaq. Without question.
Well, yeah, I mean, it'll be nice when Kenny stops getting handed the job that he's got and the other guys retire. But I digress.
Right.
I said.
But the complaints about, to Jim's point about the ESPN ABC. So this year, both leagues covered both the Eastern Conference Finals as well as the NBA Finals this year. Okay, both. And we heard complaints about, not the studio team necessarily, because we heard that for all year about Stephen A. and all that, but the broadcast team of, I'm blanking on his name. The play-by-play guy, Mike Breen, who's phenomenal for the record. But then you had Doris Burke, who I love for the record, and then now Lakers coach JJ Redick. And there's a lot of complaints about them not, the same thing that Jim was saying about the other guy on the broadcast or ESPN, that there's not a lot of excitement and not a lot of this. And I gotta be honest, I'm gonna go ahead and apologize myself now to Mike Breen, not necessarily Mike Breen because Mike Breen's amazing, but to Jeff Van Gundy and Mark Jackson, who I have to admit last year, look, I liked them a lot for the record, but there was some wear and tear as of late, so I wasn't too mad when Van Gundy got let go or just got let go. I have to Kyle, let me finish.
No,
I have to apologize.
As the non-NBA guy, that's a big miss for you.
No, but Van Gundy got a little annoying because he kept being the over critiquing over and over got tiring. It got tiring. It was because he did the same thing over and over again.
And yet, if you're John Gruden and you love everybody, people get pissed at that too.
I need something in the middle.
That's what she said.
I'm a moderate. Yeah, I'm a moderate. Deal with it. So, but I will say, and look, and I love Doris Burke, and I think she has a place and whatever. But the Van Gundy, Mark Jackson, I have to apologize myself, for being a little bit dismissive last year after they got fired.
And let me ask this too, in fairness and defense, like how long has Mike Green and say your name again? I'm sorry, I'm losing
Doris
it.
Burke.
Thank you. How long have they been working together?
This is their first year.
Okay, you need to give that some time to marinate. In fairness,
to be honest, Reddick got the most of the criticism too. Also,
Reddick say a kind of a pompous ass that's from Duke. He's gonna come with criticism.
I don't mind him on the broadcast. He is better in studio, in my opinion. He's a better podcaster.
Agree. And I'm saying this. I'm saying this as somebody who has an ego, and if I'm telling you,
you do.
JJ Reddick has too much ego, man. Like at some point, yeah. So if I'm calling you out, that should tell you everything. But yeah, you got to let some of it marinate. I think where Jim has the better issue is there are guys that are just completely misappropriated for the job. Period. Right.
Yeah.
No planet should Mark Messier be talking to a camera. None.
No, Messier, Gretzky, Bissonnette. They've had Rick Tock. I think Rick Tockett's been on there from time to time. There's just it's just a over the course of the season, it's kind of a revolving door of why the fuck are these people here? But like, and I know we were touched on like the ratings points. Like the NHL, again, to their credit, got more people in the door this year. Okay, Game 7 had an average viewership 7.6 million. It peaked over 10. That's the first time they've hit 7 million for a Stanley Cup Finals game since Game 7 of 2019 when they were over 8 on an average viewership. So they've gotten more people in the door, but comparatively speaking, the NBA this year, the lowest rated NBA final game was an average of 9.6 million people.
I think,
but to be fair though, NBA is still more popular in this country than NHL.
Well, no,
so
that's
bad
my point.
That's
the
bad for
NHL,
NBA.
Right, but that's my point. Is that the NHL doesn't do a great job at marketing itself and catering itself, and somehow, despite all of that, they've improved this year. They are still off the mark. I mean, Major League Baseball last year averaged between 8 and 11 million viewers, and obviously the NFL is king at 120
in the
plus
playoffs
for the Super Bowl. That was for the World Series last year.
Yeah,
Rangers Diamondbacks Game 6 was 11.4 million.
Yeah, because it's those two teams, and baseball is not what it was.
Baseball is awful and a waste of my time. But listen, here's what I think is Jim's choice, though. EJ, they're still able to draw in, and this is again a tribute to the NHL fan, right? They're still able to draw in a year where NBA was complacent, right? You got the team you didn't wanted, who you air quotes knew. Some people were fooled and then doubled back after. Let's be real, but knew wouldn't win. Sorry,
you talking about Boston or Dallas?
In the Mavs. Maybe if you let me finish, you'll figure it out.
Okay.
The people who knew wouldn't win versus the team who might be a great team, but had without question possibly the easiest, if not top 5, roads to the finals of literally all fucking time.
Without question.
And again, they got a lot of good luck their way. That's all it is. I'm not calling the Celtics bad, but Boston fans understand they can't control the schedule. Yes, and it was still fucking easy. Two things can be true at the same time. You beantown eating motherfuckers, okay? So, hashtag fuck Boston. Brady's not the GOAT. Anyways.
Okay, calm down there. Calm down.
Handle the truth, bitch. Where's Nathan?
Tom! He's making fun of you again. Sorry. Yeah, the other white guy, the one in the tan.
You can't handle the truth.
Jim, can we get that as a short? Anyway,
yeah.
But mark it 133.
I did.
So listen, but that's the thing. The fact that on the NBA's worst day, the NHL can shock them and look better in a finals is fucking. That's what Jim's getting at.
Yeah,
and that's
absolutely
the problem at the same time for you, Jim. You loyalists don't push back, and you aren't the type to go to Twitter and kick stink about how fucking bad these guys are at a clip. That's those hockey fan, not
yes, you. Hockey fans as a whole do not.
Listen, Trump calls himself the 45. I call your Twitter account the 145 degrees. That's how obtuse you are on Twitter, motherfucker. Okay. Anyway. Here's a math humor, bitch. What?
The next thing for the NHL they need to do, they got to figure out is marketing their stars.
Yes.
That's the next thing.
They did a tremendous job with it when you had Sidney Crosby and Alex Ovechkin
Correct.
as
Yes.
the young stars.
Fantastic job for Ovechkin.
He's top 5 all time.
But
Dude, I'm joking.
But now, you have a crop of tremendous young stars. I mean, I think maybe part of it this year. I mean, first off, again, a Canadian team having a chance to win and battling back from down 3-0 to getting into Game 7, it's a good story in of itself. And by that point, there was really, besides baseball, which we know Kyle loves, nothing else really going on in the national sports because the NBA was already done. So the NHL.
How can you be woke, Jim, and not acknowledge the rise of the WNBA?
Yes, I do apologize.
We're getting there in a second.
We will get there. But
that's all the teaser, bitch. Stop being a bitch.
Connor McDavid and Edmonton being part of that was a big thing. But yeah, the NHL, again, I will be so goddamn happy the day Gary Bettman's not the general manager of the National Hockey.
So you're not a fan?
He's an absolute fucking train wreck. He's terrible. He has been from day one. His focus on expansion into markets that still don't support hockey. Part of the reason why there's a team moving from Arizona to Utah this year, and just his general attitude towards hockey fans and the way that the game should be perceived. He's a fucking idiot. He's a fucking idiot.
Ugh.
You got the pop quiz, gentlemen. Bigger fucking idiot commissioner, Bud Selig or Gary Bettman? EJ.
Bud Selig, without question.
Wow. Jim.
I
can hum the Jeopardy theme if you need it.
Taking my emotion out of it, I'd still probably lean Selig.
Oh, okay. Well,
I hate Bettman more, but
I love David Stern, actually.
But yeah,
that wasn't part of the question, Dick.
I know. I'm just saying. Rest in peace, David Stern. Love David Stern.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, David Stern was great. Yeah, what are we doing? Yeah, no, it was about bad commission. What are you doing?
I want to praise David Stern. Is that okay with me, buddy?
Jesus Christ.
The crazier part is Rob Manfred might actually be worse for Major League Baseball, but
Yeah,
that's another topic for another day that Kyle won't be a part.
Filed for content.
Yeah, filed for content.
Hey, listen,
all right.
As much shit as I talk on baseball, the business of baseball, I'm very interested in. Like this whole gambling scenario with Shohei Ohtani was fascinating.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's get to the other big topic right now going on in sports. Caitlin Clark. How much you guys following WNBA and Caitlin Clark's rise?
More than I was.
Huh?
More than I was. As the guy on the panel that's watched more women's basketball in general than both of you, and I'm not saying that as a flex. I mean, listen, Jim's already got his hand on the button for the Bing, as I mentioned, the black and gold banneret. I mean, listen, if you've watched Destiny Thomas, Brittany Smith, Diamond Battles, Masini Cabo play basketball, you fall in love with that motherfucker too, okay? Listen, all I'm saying is this. The fact that, and I said this 2 years ago, EJ, you might have even followed up the intro on the episode in question, okay? Mm-hmm. When Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark did battle, and, we don't know if, we're sure John Cena wasn't in the building because, you couldn't see them. And for a couple moments, you couldn't see Angel Reese because she was doing a sign to Caitlin as well. There you go, wrestling fans. What's up? But, the fact that the following has happened. Debate shows making horrible points, looking at you, Cheryl Swoops and Jameel Hill. Debate shows continue to talk about Caitlin Clark. Shannon Sharp is having an opinion in defending Caitlin Clark. That's fascinating. The fact that the Joker to Caitlin Clark's Batman, Angel Reese, is getting shine. At first, because she was Joker, and second, because she holds the record for double-doubles for WNBA history. Also being named to the All-Star team, by the way, alongside of Caitlin Clark. Interesting point. Mm-hmm. Arenas are getting sold. Venues are changing because smaller venues are getting sold out. Mm-hmm. They're flying private jets. And there's a word used fiscally in the NBA office that hasn't been used before for the WNBA. Revenue. Not lost, gentlemen. Revenue. Mm-hmm. But this is all the shit we know about, right? Imagine if the Fever actually make the fucking playoffs, guys. You think the Olympic team was going to be a big deal, EJ? I push back on that. If the Fever make the playoffs with Caitlin Clark on the goddamn roster, shit, that's going to be a big deal, fellas.
Yeah,
hey,
100%.
Better for me because I love to have more attention covering women's basketball for the Black and Gold banner at Bing.
And only that, the good thing too also is they also have the lane between July and August,
Exactly.
June, July, August. You know,
did you hear me make this point on the Student of the Game?
Yeah.
Where if you are an up and coming broadcaster, study up on your WNBA. Study up on
absolutely.
your WNBA. When do stars take their vacations, right? July, June. The WNBA is going on. And it's not a niche sport. It's in basketball, right? Where, you know, sure, the playoffs are going on, but there's a lot more rest. There's more time in between. Hockey is going on in the postseason. One could argue it's the best postseason that sport has to offer. Jim, I agree with you on that. You're still niche, unfortunately.
Oh, 100%.
People have the world could be a place where the WNBA is getting more push even than that. And it's also the part where major broadcasters, your Colin Cowherds, your Nick Wrights, your Joel Klatz, all those dudes are off. The names of people who I acknowledge as stars, right? I don't count Shannon Sharp anymore because I don't think he really takes days off like that. And he's more kind of a celebrity show, variety show than a sports one, but that's a separate conversation. File that for content, bitch. Anyway, so actually had a great pod discussing that with Essex O'Brien and Tokyo Jameson, the Student of the Game, a few months back. Bing! Anyways, so if you're an up-and-coming broadcaster, study up on WNBA, because when you step in and you get your shot to fill in the host chair and you come off like a fucking boss talking WNBA, there's your opportunity. There's your resume right there.
Speaking of WNBA real quick, right now, the playoffs started today. The Fever would be in.
Correct. Now,
yeah, they're saying what, 7th, I believe, right?
No, 8 now. 8
now. Okay.
8 and 12, and they're playing good basketball.
Including, by the way, 2 nights ago, as of the recording of this podcast, beating a Phoenix team that had 3 Olympic team members on it. But nobody wants to talk about that, right, EJ'Christian?
And nobody wants about that. Jim, are you invested in this Caitlin Clark story?
Yeah, not to the degree Kyle is. I've never covered, women's basketball for any publication. But here's the deal, and I'll be 100% honest about it. I've never watched a WNBA game until this year.
And you are not unique, my guy.
Right. So that in and of itself tells you what the Caitlin Clark phenomenon and story and the broader growth of women's sports as a whole, but especially obviously in the world of basketball, is doing right now.
Might you even call it a fever?
There you go. Well played. But like when my wife, who when I met her was a football fan, I got her to be a hockey fan. She is now a baseball fan, but she also has engaged and watched with me the WNBA.
Oh, cool.
Like because of Caitlin Clark, because of the fact that more people are talking about women's sports, that's a good thing. Like that's a good thing across the board. A couple weeks ago, I went the women's US Open was at Lancaster Country Club, less than 30 minutes from my house. Second time it's been there. Largest this year was the largest purse and crowds in that event's history. Number 2 was the first time it was here back in the late 2010s. So just that, I think all of that has helped for me because it's been a focus, and again, it has the lane right now, which is a great thing. And people are talking about it. And I hope they continue to, and to Kyle's point, I hope people start to do it in a more intelligent manner.
I will say that the recent conversation about Caitlin Clark now in the last week or two has been more basketball oriented, which is good.
Yes.
Now we got your attention. Let's focus on the game itself now, and and that's where we want to go. You know.
By the way, EJ'Christian, that plays to a point I made on the student of the game as well. But before we get into the Olympic team, Bing, I have openly ripped. I even did it on this very show. The Jameel Hills, the Cheryl Swoopses.
Okay.
The people that went after the race and or lifestyle choice. I don't like using sexual orientation. Like, I think it's more to it than just, with whom you do stuff with at home, but it's almost kind of like fantasy football, right? There is nothing more boring, in my opinion, than watching some goofy bastard who thinks he knows what he's talking about talk about his fantasy team. But enough about Craig from the Fat Guys podcast.
Oh God!
Listen, shots fired, motherfuckers. But
damn, that's tough.
Wow. I heard nobody coming to his defense either. Anyways, but like when you're out here going after a chick because she's white with false facts and bad arguments, nobody's going to bat an eye because she's white, right? I've been told that black people can't be racist, so that part of the conversation isn't a thing. But here's my thing. Keep expressing your awkward opinions that are incorrect and have been proven wrong at so many different terms, because it keeps the show in the lexicon, just like fantasy football keeps the NFL being the goddamn juggernaut that it is now. Listen, on Thursday nights, back when the Jags weren't able to win more than six games, the previous 10 out of the past 11 seasons before Doug Peterson arrived, nobody was watching the Titans play them on Thursday unless somebody had Jake Locker on their fucking fantasy team. You get my point, okay? We need to get to the stage where people are watching just to see what that white chick did, whether it's for or against, okay? And now, the thing that's beautiful about it, because that happened, Angel Reese is showing up as a star the way she is. Guys, imagine what happens next year when Paige Buchers and Juju Watkins come out the college ranks and hit the WNBA. And actually, I got to double check with Juju Watkins. She may need 2 more years. But the punchline is there's future stars in the pike that can keep this momentum going. And it keeps me confident, fellas.
It's awesome.
Keep the political stupid just like you would for LeBron and draw the other people from the fringe in to watch the NBA. Cool. Keep the political stupid in. Get it wrong as Caitlin Clark continues to handle press conference with the depth and finesse of Peyton Manning. If he could run like he could handle pressers back in the day, holy shit. Okay?
Yeah.
There's more coming, and I'm looking forward to it, man.
Awesome.
And listen, hopefully Satia Messer could get that turnaround to happen for UCF in the Big 12. It'll be awesome.
All right, one last thing we got out of here. To go on more on the lighthearted side. So this was a discussion on social media that myself, Big Jim, and a mutual friend, Charlie Thrower, we were talking. He brought up a topic about gas station food. I'll read a tweet here verbatim. He basically said, "I'm going to get some heat for this, but I don't care. Food from Wawa is severely overrated." So open a little bit of discussion with a lot of our mutuals here. Jim replied with, saying overrated compared to what? And then of course he said, it's not the be all end all, it's bland, that kind of thing. So we had an open discussion about that. What is good gas station food?
Wawa. Wawa. No, and that was my whole point. Is for anyone that doesn't, because regionally, depending where you listen to this, you may not know what a Wawa is, you may not know what a Sheetz is. But
Sheetz.
So you don't have Sheetz in Florida. Sheetz is basically it's Wawa of Western PA. So Wawa originated down near Philly. Sheetz originated in Pittsburgh. And it's the same sort of thing now. And that's the big debate in Pennsylvania is Sheetz versus Wawa. I live in the middle of both of them, so I get the benefit from having both.
And the one time woke Jim's a moderate. All right.
Hey man, if I'm gonna get good food, I'll meet you on both sides of the aisle.
Absolutely.
But my whole point to Charlie and the whole thing is like, when you say it's severely overrated, like what are you comparing it to? Because it is gas station food. Like literally at the core of what it is, like it is food that you're buying at a convenience store / gas station. So like, are you comparing it to like, you know, a Ruth's Chris Steakhouse? Because then yeah, the Wawa hoagie probably gonna come up a little short in that battle. Okay, like
I'll tell you what though, Wawa, the way people treat Wawa, especially down in Florida, I don't know if it's the same in PA or any other place, but people treat Wawa down here like a glorified fast food place almost. Like McDonald's level.
It really is. And because I mean, I say gas station food, and it's not like, you know, you walk in and you're grabbing like a 3-day-old sandwich with like the cheese that's begun to liquefy, which I also love, by the way, because I'm fat. But like, yeah, I mean, Wawa, they have good ingredients. They make the stuff fresh to order.
Yes.
Again, they have grab and go stuff as well as any gas station would. But yeah, this is, you can place the order in-house, they make it, and then you get basically a takeout order. Same thing with Sheets. But like, and at one point in the conversation, Charlie had asked me, because there's a series of local and regional stations up here, Sheets, Wawa, there's one called Turkey Hill, there's one called Rutter's. Like, he asked me, if I have my choice, which one am I stopping at? And 9 times out of 10, my answer would be Wawa, because they actually do have the best quality food out of all of them. The 1 time out of 10 I'm grabbing Sheets is probably because it's either morning, and there's one close enough to my house that I'm grabbing my coffee and breakfast sandwich there, or I'm drunk and I want some greasy food, because Sheets, that's their corner of the market. They kind of thrive in like more of like a greasy fried food option, where Wawa has more like fresh ingredients. They have soups, they have hoagies. They actually do pizza now too, which is surprisingly better than you would expect.
It's better than Little Caesars. Like,
it is better than Little Caesars. And so like the way I always describe it is this: Wawa is the Wawa's like the girl that you bring home to meet your parents. Like, Sheets is like the 2 a.m. leaving the bar drunk hookup. So like,
Ruth Chris is the Scarlett Johansson that you have no chance with.
Bing. Yeah, man, like, you know, it was such a funny conversation. I have back and forth with Charlie all the time. He's a good dude, but it was just like, what do you can't just like do such a broad swing with like Wawa's severely overrated. Like, no, first off, if you're getting bad Wawa food, you're going to a bad Wawa. I'll say that. So like, you gotta find, because he's probably going to the same one on his way to work or his way home every day. So go to a different one, find a different one, and then tell me if it's severely overrated. My guess is, because I do have a buddy who hates Burger King because the one closest to him he had a horrible experience with it. I'm like, go to a different Burger King. It's okay, I promise it will be better. I'm a bit of a fast food connoisseur. Obviously, you can tell.
We've had the same conversation about you and Popeyes, my guy.
Oh, dude, we finally got a good one near me.
Fuck yeah!
I eat there at least once a month.
Now, hey, let me counter with this. The one by my house has gotten bad on service. I've stopped going.
Yeah, man, it can spoil you, or it can, you know, it can spoil itself, really.
7-Eleven is hit or miss, because if the food is fresh, you're good.
EJ'Christian, sir, shame on you.
Why?
Okay, you live in Florida.
And what the fuck are you talking about, man?
You live in Florida.
Okay, what are you trying to say?
This motherfucker set the table for you.
Okay.
To preach a gospel, to talk about the church of convenience food and gas station action that exists now in this state. For you to not take the opportunity to spread the seed of gospel to the church of Buc-ee's is a goddamn fail on your part.
We don't have one here yet.
And I don't give a shit. You're the problem.
I don't have one here. What do we do about that?
Buc-ee's, Jim.
Drive a little bit, EJ. My God.
Oh, wait. It's almost as if you go to Disney pretty often.
Oh, when I go up there, yes, I'll handle that. Put on the reel.
Now you're doing your Trump impression again of making fun of that.
Listen, Buc-ee's, greatest gas station ever.
And of course, it being a church, you should also endorse it as one who loves Trump and Republicans. Anyways,
oh my God.
We did stop at the one in St. Augustine when we came down in April. And
I'm familiar.
Dear God, yeah. The word on this street is they may be building one in Ohio, which is like probably between like a 6 and 7 hour. But between probably about a 4 and 5 hour drive for me. Which I would do that on a boring on a Saturday. I had nothing else to do.
If you stopped in Daytona at that one instead of St. Augustine, your mind would have been further blown.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we just didn't.
As somebody who regularly does that corridor, covering the Jacksonville Jaguars for Jaguars on SI and the Duval Dive, I regularly do it for the morning hit, for breakfast, for coffee, etc. But I think that's what Charlie is missing in his overall assessment compared to what, right? What the kids like to say, it's about the way it hits, right? Late night drunk action, or late night, I've been busting ass all fucking day covering the Jacksonville Jaguars, right?
Yeah.
Some bullshit has transpired, and now I got to listen to morons like EJ's brother try to tell me Daniel Jones is better than Trevor Lawrence.
He didn't say that.
That's not going away. That's
dude. We're gonna address that.
This is worse than the way you and Jim platform Clay Travis all the time.
I platform Clay Travis?
Yes. When you retweet him, when you quote tweet him and talk shit, you are platforming him. Reply in the goddamn replies and don't quote tweet him. It's very simple for you old fucks that can't handle social media. See, it's funny because I'm older than both of you. Anyway,
I was just gonna say that. I know I can say that,
but it's the way it hits, right? I had somebody who had acquired a Wawa pizza and said, "Hey, I just wanted to try it. You want some?" As the pizza fiend that I am, granted, while relatively reformed, when you bring a drunk person to a bar, they might fall off the wagon. When a man brings a fat man a pizza and says, "Have a bite," it's difficult. So I did, for the sake of science, endure. Gentlemen, I mentioned better than Little Caesars. The way that hit, using the term gas station pizza that I'd be willing to take a second bite for, that's not overrated. Wawa deserves its prop. Now, is it the Church of Buc-ee's? Bitch, please.
Dude, that chopped brisket sandwich that I had for lunch that day was life-changing.
What can I say except you're welcome?
My God, it was just...
What can I say except you're welcome?
So good.
And all that EJ's going to do is...
a wall of jerky, for Christ's sake. They have a wall of jerky.
They really do.
A big wall.
Wow.
Bigly, the biggest wall. I'll get Mexico to pay for the goddamn wall.
Whoa.
Like, it was a huge fucking wall of jerky.
Realize how moved woke Jim was about Buc-ee's that he did a Trump impression. I don't give a damn that it was terrible compared to the black men on this panel.
Jim, all he misses is this.
He's missing the jerk off.
Jerking off the air wangs.
No, for me right now, it's easy Wawa with a bullet. If you're talking
because you don't have the Church of Buc-ee's, you fucking heretic.
Not yet.
It's Hoagie Fest right now, by the way.
Say it again now?
It's Hoagie Fest for Wawa right now.
Oh, is it really nice?
Hell yeah.
You know what? I may go Wawa tomorrow, man. I haven't eaten Wawa in ages. And I had one next to my house.
I got it twice last weekend.
And you got to be a bitch and stop at one on the way up to Disney.
Which we going? I'll probably go up there soon, probably in August.
Good. Come pick up your jewelry.
That's right. Yes. Anyway, fellas,
I owe you a mailing too. That's my bad.
Right. Anyway, fellas, excellent show. 2 hours of powerful content. Anyone you want to plug anything? Jim, want to go first?
That's what she said.
Sure. Yeah. So 3CT 3 Count Thursday. We did have new content this week. Our live show last week, the podcast that dropped today. Now we are off. We were off 2 weeks ago. We're off again this week because of the 4th of July holiday. So we will have, but we are going to have some content from the archives again. So make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube and podcast platforms. Depending, I don't know what this weekend looks like. Humble, not so humble brag. It is my birthday on Saturday, but it is also WWE Money in the Bank. I don't know what I'm doing
this Saturday.
This Saturday. So I don't know if or what I'm doing. I may hop on at some point and do like a reaction pod to Money in the Bank and NXT Heatwave, which is Sunday. Haven't decided that, so I'm not guaranteeing it, but I can promise you there will be content hitting the podcast feed Thursday afternoon, and then next Tuesday we'll be back live there next week. Discussions with the Nobody, I did record a new one of those last week, talking about what has been an absolutely a crazy spring for me, and that I've kind of taken time to focus more on experience versus, yes, I have to do this podcast thing. I did shout out both of you jabronis, particularly this one down here, who literally takes no breaks. But I do, not apologizing about it either, but you can hear that one. Also, I did a new observations on the Huddle Up feed, so you can check that out from last week. We will have finally have some new full Huddle Up podcast content coming in the next couple weeks, as well as the simulcast with the Student of the Game, doing the NFC East preview in 2 weeks. But the easiest way to get all of that stuff that I just talked about, go to my Twitter at Big Jim Sports, hit the link tree. All of my shows are right there, so hit those.
And bring your protractor so you can measure those obtuse ankles.
That's right.
Go ahead, Kyle.
Of course, an honor, joy, and privilege to be on board, guys. Of course, I'm Kyle Nash, the Student of the Game. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Threads at the SOTG. Find me on Facebook as the Student of the Game. Check out my writings with the Jaguars on SI, the Black and Gold Banneret. We had to get on 3-point conversion here. There'll, of course, be an NFL preview coming up here, probably closer to late August there too. And of course, the Student of the Game podcast will be entering preview season, not tomorrow night, but the night after, starting with the AFC West. And of course, the Huddle Up crew will graciously provide the analysis. God, I just realized I'm putting EJ in position to speak for my network. Oh God. Well, hey, I know I'm missing a Giants fan, but
the good news is I will be acting as host, not this one.
Well, fair. But
I want to.
But listen, let the record show there'll be plenty of Cowboys representation with EJ'Christian in the building. So with all that being stated, of course, check out the Student of the Game, 9 p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays. And of course, check out any recordings therein on any of your podcast catchers, as well as the Duval Dive with Travis Holmes of Big Cat Country. Together, we rep the Jags pretty well. On Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, we will do the live stream talking about who the most underrated Jaguar is, as well as the advantages to having Coach Doug Peterson make the play calls over offensive coordinator Press Taylor. That's a particular topic that Travis wanted to chime in on, so I want to give him a little bit of his thunder. He is my personal champion, after all, on the Duval Dive podcast. Check out the Duval Dive YouTube channel and TikTok. Subscribe, hit the notification bells, do the things, help us build out slowly but surely. You may have noticed my graphic artist talents with the certain thumbnails and things like that. So put a lot of effort into that. Please help us grow and make sure you get it before you got to pay for it, so we can get off the ground here. Yeah, I think that'll handle all the things. Make sure you also check out the Night Shift podcast with the Black and Gold Banneret on the Black and Gold Banneret YouTube channel. Bing! Very interesting conversation on whether or not the Florida Gators are the most important, most crucial game on the football schedule for UCF in 2024. So there's a little college football action. I have my role in the debate over Jake Ferraro. I think I got it right, and rightly so, but you can weigh in and see who you think won the particular debate as well. So yeah, gentlemen, an honor, joy, and privilege. But until next time, everyone, class dismissed.
And can we commit to a August edition of the Five content before things get really busy for us?
It won't be.
Yeah,
I would schedule it for a Monday.
Yeah, we could do it on a Monday, because once we get Really, once we get into about the second, maybe third week of August, I haven't actually looked at the calendar yet, but that's when we're going to start previewing college and NFL seasons, and we're going to be back off and running for Huddle Up. So,
well, we'll figure all that out. Mondays may be rough, but we'll figure it all that out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Weeks come. So, fellas, good job as always, man.
Thank you.